formidable, Blakely and Edwards. The forwards for England, Harrison, Lawless, Broadbent, Joint, McNamara and Sculthorpe on his debut. Lawless on his debut as well. Calland, Rowley, Morley and Malloy. The coach, of course, is Phil Larder for England. And the French team now, Laurent Luchesse, Pascal Bomati, Freddie Bonquet, Jean-Marc Garcia, Arnaud Cervello, Fabien Devecchi and Patrick Onta, the skipper. Up front for France, Hadj Boudebza, Patrick Torre, Frederic Texido, Pascal Jampi, Didier Cabastanet and Jacques Peche. Names that should be familiar to you from the Paris Saint-Germain matches this season. Darren Adams, Eric Van Brussel, Jerome Bisson and Baghdad Yaha on the bench for the coach, Ivan Gresek. Right, let's go outside into this glorious Gateshead evening and join Bill Arthur on the touchline.
Thanks, Eddie. Another good turnout at Gateshead International Stadium, and the organisers are hoping that a few of the thousands of French fans who are in the northeast for the European, the other European Championship that's going on at the moment, some soccer tournament or other, they're hoping that they're going to come down here tonight and support the French side, whose captain Patrick Onta has confirmed that this will be his final international appearance, and he's hoping to sign off on a winning note, but that's some hope. Nevertheless, he's going to carry on playing club rugby for Paris Saint-Germain, maybe for another couple of seasons. So a big night for Onta, a big night too for tonight's referee, Bill Harrigan from Australia, who adds a European Super League match to an impressive list of credits.
2 metres out, chance here. Blues try, I think. Yes.
Few referees have more big match experience than Bill Harrigan. He's taken charge of 5 State of Origins, 3 Grand Finals, plus Test and World Cup games. But a hard-fought, exciting Yorkshire derby was a new experience for the Australian. Harrigan refereed Halifax Blue Sox versus Bradford Bulls last Sunday, an incident-packed game which the Bulls just won.
That was a great game. It ended up 22-20. Up and down the field, exciting for the fans, and I really enjoyed refereeing it.
What about the reception you got?
Reception was good, and it was quite positive at the end of the game from both sides and both sets of spectators as well. Just a great game of football to be involved in.
Bill Harrigan was invited to referee in England by the Rugby League. He's a Super League official and is unable to work in Australia at the moment because of the continuing dispute with the ARL.
It was disappointment that I was shut out because the players and the clubs were allowed to go back for the rest of the year, subject to what happens at the appeal, and the referees were the only ones that were alienated. So I was disappointed there, but where there's a negative, I always look for a positive. And the positive was I had the opportunity to come to England, referee over here in the first grade, and that's the big positive.
Harrigan's been in England for 6 weeks now, coaching, refereeing and observing the changes in the British game under Super League.
I think the real changes have been good. The one that I'm always sceptical about is the stealing of the ball. That's a grey area no matter which way they decide to make the rule. Whether you can steal it or whether you have one-on-one or whether you can't steal it. But the other real changes have been a positive for the game. The screen is a big positive. I think the in-goal touch judges probably get it right 85% of the time. But with the screen, we should be looking at 99% of the time. And that's a big bonus.
What about the pace of the game? Standard of the game, maybe?
The standard of the game has improved since I first came over in 1991. It's a lot faster. I think the players over here are a lot more professional than what they were back then. And it's on level par with what's happening in Australia.
The man in the middle tonight will be hoping for an exciting and trouble-free game. But if there are any problems, well, 17 years in the New South Wales Police Force has prepared him for most things.
I think so. It certainly helped. The discipline, control, authority, that sort of thing, it certainly helped. And there's a great referee, Kevin Roberts, back at home. He's also been in the cops for 25, 30 odd years, and he made it to the top in refereeing too, and he says exactly the same.
You were in the riot squad, though. Is that extra bonus?
Yeah, well, I got my mates on the sideline. It is if all hell breaks loose.
Sometimes referees aren't the most popular people, but Bill Harrigan's been ranked among the best-looking blokes in Australian Rugby League.
I thought that accolade belonged to Steve-O, but Bill Harrigan, man in the middle tonight, he's one of the personalities you should look out for. And here now is the good-looking boy to tell us who else we should look out for. And you've got a battle to pick us out for, Steve-O, Robinson and Bomati.
Yeah, they don't come any better, do they, than Jason Robinson. I think on current form, you'd have to say that Robinson is by far the best winger in the world. And it's this sort of acceleration from a standing start that has made him that top star. Tremendous speed, good ability. Let's just stop the ball there. He's the sort of man that once he gets his eyes on the gap, he just goes for it, dips his head down And look at that explosive speed. Throws the shimmy, really does confuse the defence. And you see how he runs the arc. Notice the right arm, pounding away, great balance, gets himself into top speed, back on the inside with a little step. And this is one reason why they class him the world's best. But let's not take anything away from this guy. Bomati has really impressed me this season. He's got good hands, good step, and you can see how he carries the ball both ways so he can fend away. But he also has got tremendous skills also. Let's just stop it there. Here's a man that can stop on the sixpence and go in and out. Very, very clever indeed. And once he's made the gap, he has it. Let's stop just about now. He has the ability to just pass on the inside. Look at him looking for support play. He's a thinker. Tremendous stuff. Great support by Ontire. But when he makes a clean break, there's very few in Super League or International Rugby League can catch this guy. And that really should be a tremendous battle between those two tonight.
Some great little cameos then to watch out for during the course of tonight's match. Emily, you must be looking forward to it. I know that you see the game live many, many times, but some great players on show here. Newlove and company, for instance.
But the one that's pleased me more than anybody is the winner in the side, and that's Shaun Edwards. For him not to be even considered for the game initially, I thought was an absolute disgrace. He would have to be my first player in any rugby league team I picked, because he's a winner, and winners win things. It's all right being a super player and a great guy and all that, but he's a winner. He's won everything the game's been there, and he's done it. I know he's been with a super side, but he is a winner, and he's got to be in anybody's side. I still rate him the best player in the world. I think he's magnificent.
Yeah, that's quite a testimony then to the Shaun Edwards experience from this man, Emlyn Hughes, who's our guest in the studio here tonight. So we have quite a match then coming up for you, and the winner, Shaun Edwards, I wonder whether he will be a grinner tonight, because we have England against France. It's part 2 of the European Championship. Don't forget, if England win, it sets us up with a big match against Wales in 2 weeks' time. Welcome back to Gateshead for the European Super League Championship. It's part 2 as England, who take part in their first international since last October's World Cup final against the Aussies, take on the French, beaten last Wednesday. Led out by the match officials, Taz Batieri and Ivan Gresek, and a big night for Patrick Onta. The little general will play no more international football after this. One of the greatest servants that French Rugby League has ever had. Patrick Torre, the hooker, Laurent Luchesse and Boudebza, the hooker. The men on whose shoulders the hopes of France rest here tonight. It's a long time since they've beaten a side of any international note, but Patrick Onta hopes that tonight is the night. Phil Larder leading out his team, and Shaun Edwards, the captain, originally not even named in the squad for this match. Bobby Goulding was injured. He was brought into the side. Andy Farrell dropped out this morning, and Shaun Edwards was immediately named captain by Phil Larder. And Martin Offiah, one of the strike force for England. It is a formidable three-quarter line that the English have got. And the stadium here tonight bathed in sunshine, and a good-sized crowd has turned out here to take a look at International Super League. Now the national anthems of the two nations, beginning with the French national anthem, and everyone in this stadium on their feet. every member of that starting lineup for France has appeared in Super League for Paris Saint-Germain. Caught a glimpse watching from the stands of Andrew Farrell, the England captain in absentia, named in the side overnight, but a thigh injury has ruled him out of becoming the youngest ever captain of his country. I wonder what thoughts are going through Andy Farrell's mind. His chance will certainly come, and possibly in 2 weeks' time, against the Welsh in Cardiff. The match referee tonight is Bill Harrigan from Australia, making this a truly international occasion. And Bill Harrigan just waiting while the formalities are completed, listening to make sure that the half-time and full-time siren is loud enough, and it certainly is that. And the French come into this match knowing they have not beaten a fully fledged rugby league playing nation for 5 years. Their last victory against Papua New Guinea in Carcassonne in 1991. Big night for Steve McNamara, who comes into the side. Sculthorpe drops to loose forward to cover for the injured Farrell. McNamara plays in the second row. And we have the big screen here in Gateshead, as we do for all Super League occasions. And the match now just about ready to get underway. England against France, the European Super League Championship. France needing to win to maintain any hopes at all of winning this title, and the English, of course, aiming for a big win to take them to Cardiff for the big showdown against the Welsh in 2 weeks' time. Here's the first tackle of the match. Paul Broadbent, and good chasing by the French forwards to bring him down. Here's the side for England. Prescott, Robinson, Connolly, Newlove, Afire, Blakely and Edwards, who's the captain. Up front, it's Harrison, Lawless, Broadbent, Joint, McNamara and Sculthorpe. And on the bench for England, Calland, Rowley, Morley and Malloy. The coach, Phil Larder. The French side, he's stuck mainly to the team that was beaten so heavily last week. Luchesse is at fullback. Bomati, Bonke, Garcia, Cervello, De Vecchi and Onta, his last international. Budebza, Torre, Texido, Jampi, Kabastani and Pesh. And on the bench, as that ball bounces round, Adams, Bruxelles, Bisson and Yaha, and the coach, Ivan Gresek. Pitch in absolutely magnificent condition, not a blade of grass out of place, as the French have the ball for the first time in the shape of Onta. He gets the ball away. Good tackling, though, by Broadbent. It was on Texido, the prop forward. And here come the French now, trying to launch an attack through the chest of Gary Connolly.
Pretty strong defence by the English lineup there. They're moving up quickly. You can see they're not allowing the French to get the ball anywhere out wide. It's a ploy that their coach, Phil Larder, has been working upon. And that looked pretty high to me. Swinging arm there by Chris Joint.
The kick downfield goes straight into the legs of Steve Blakely. No knock on because his hands didn't touch it. He reached the ball before it went forward anyway.
They saw Joint with the high tackle, but here's a fire.
Yes, Martin Afire's broken the cover, and there's the first try posted for England. First time, really, that England have had the ball in the French half of the field, and Martin Afire gets the try. His 5th England cap. 26 tries in 36 for England and Great Britain.
Quick thinking there by the winger. Came in off the touchline, went looking for work and got rewarded. There was a huge gap there, and he's only got into half pace. He didn't need full pace for that one. Well worked, and you can see he went looking for the football, They did not anticipate speed coming at their defence like this. And once he'd made the break, he knew that there was no one at home. Laurent Lechesse, the French fullback, was well and truly up in the straight line of defence. And what a start for England.
Easy try for Martin of Fire. He, of course, includes a record 5 tries against France at Leeds in 1991 in his record books. Now then, Steve Prescott will kick the goals tonight for England. Andy Farrell off the field, the captain, who would normally, you would have expected, taken the goal kicks. No problems for Prescott from in front of the sticks. And England off to a flying start. They lead here by 6 points to 0.
Good work from Fire coming into the first man. And he runs the arc, and they must make sure that the tackle. They did not close in, they did not slide the solid defence, and they paid the price.
Not the longest of kick-offs from England. Patrick Onta is able to pick it up. Well, a lot of people predicted that England would get off to a flying start against the French, and so it has proved to be. I must say, Steve-O, you look down that back line of Robinson, Connolly, Newlove and Afire, there are tries galore.
Yep, it's world class, isn't it? And that's going to be the biggest problem for the French side. I mean, on paper, to be fair, the English side is so good. And we fully expected a good start from the French, and that's not good at all. The loose forward there, Jacques Pech making a real mess of it. So a bad mistake early in the tackle count for the French, who have been blitzed by that early try from Martin of Fire.
Ball comes out of the back of the scrum to Sculthorpe. He feeds it to Robinson. Robinson, they collar him, but they can't get to him, can they? He didn't ground it, though, and he lost it for mine. Now, there's something here, I think, that referee Bill Harrigan might want another look at. No, he is convinced the ball wasn't grounded. No try, he lost the ball.
Tremendous work from Cervello. Robinson looked all the world for going over. Cervello says, come here, and puts his body underneath him. And it's no try. Trying to put it down, Robinson loses it. Well spotted by the referee, Bill Harrigan.
He was held up over the line, so England have the head and feet at the scrum. It's brilliantly picked up there by Prescott. The referee was being asked by Shaun Edwards, by the way, to go to the screen and give that on to the video referee for his decision. But the referee, Bill Harrigan from Australia, no doubts it was no try, so no need to go to modern technology.
Well, it was quick thinking on there, but Harrigan has suggested that the man carrying the ball, which is Robinson, couldn't ground it, but he lost it in mind. That's a bad mistake by the referee, I'm afraid.
Good ball, though, from Edwards. Terrific defence, though, from the French. It was a great run. A super run from Sculthorpe. They're stretched out wide, though, here with Newlove. No doubts about that one. Try give him this time. Newlove gets the second for England. England lead by 10 points to 0 early here in Gateshead.
All the pressure, ball out wide. Edwards controlling again. Long ball out to the big centre. And Paul Newlove will certainly cause a lot of trouble for this French three-quarter line out wide. But it was a beautiful long pass there from Edwards. They used Joint as a dummy runner, and it was easy for the big centre, Newlove. Such a hard man to stop. Nothing they could do about that. An easy angled run by the big centre.
Paul Newlove, his 6th England cap, a try in all his 4 World Cup games in October. He became Great Britain's youngest ever international when he was just 18 against New Zealand in 1989. That record, of course, since been taken from him. I beg your pardon, I've got that the other way round. He took that record from Shaun Edwards. So Paul Newlove, the youngest man to play for Great Britain, the latest man to score a try for England here. They lead by 10-0. Difficult conversion attempt from Prescott. Tried to drift it in on the wind, but didn't. England ahead by 10 points to 0.
Good miss-out pass by Edwards. You can see how he uses Chris Joint as the dummy runner, and there's the gap that appears. 3 men were sucked in, expecting Joint to get it. And Paul Newlove in for quite an easy try in the end, but well worked by Shaun Edwards.
Well, a lot of people predicted this would be a procession constantly to the French line, and this is the try that got away from Robinson.
Well, I think he loses it here. He tried to get the ball down, and in doing so lost it. And I think that was a mistake by Bill Harrigan. He said that he was held up over the line. He must have been pretty quick with a whistle.
Well, it depends how long is a piece of string in many ways, Steve, or how long do you give him to get the ball down?
Well, I got the impression that Jason Robinson was still trying to get the ball down. Either way, it went England's way. From the scrum, they launched the attack and picked up the second try.
Kick downfield, collected ominously for the French by Robinson, but that's better tackling. It's the sort of tackling that they need to put in from Garcia and from Onta.
Well, I know the French were very disappointed with the display, and there's the arm underneath trying to do the spear tackle. It's not allowed these days, any attempt to put the arm or the hand underneath. Tuxedo, the big prop forward, and the second rower, Kabastani, was involved in that situation. All spotted on that occasion by the referee. Getting back to the French side, they were bitterly disappointed with the display against the Welsh, and I expect something better tonight. But they're facing an uphill battle at the moment.
Johnny Lawless, the dummy half, gets the pass away to Chris Joint. Desperate defence to keep Joint out. Lawless again to Edwards, the captain. He heard the call from Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe just overran it a bit. And so the French have the ball back.
Good work by the French. He got a hand to the pass from Shaun Edwards, and it went backwards, so that was play on. But Edwards was really screaming for himself because he knew that the chance was there. But good work by Onta. He palmed the ball away.
Now the big question for France and Didier Cabastanet as he plays that ball to Patrick Torre, and he in turn gives it to De Vecchi, is can they get this ball out of their own half, because this England defence is looking pretty solid to me. This is Bonke.
Pretty solid, and also good work from the second marker there, Steve Blakely. He'll be eager to impress. He's a debut boy as well.
Kick over the top, but Robinson with all the time in the world. Only now the chasers arrive. Robinson taking it in. The first man there was Jampi, the second row forward. That's the zero tackle rule, though. Ball kicked downfield and brought back by the collecting player, and it's a zero tackle. That then is the first.
The kick and chase game has to be good by the French. That's when you've got two great wingers on the England side, Robinson and Afire. When you kick ball down deep, if your chasers are slow at any given time, they'll take full advantage.
Connolly hits the deck, he's tackled. Lawless is the man in at dummy half again. Here now Edwards, and Edwards will drift the ball into the open space behind Arnaud Civello. Luchesse comes across as well. This also now will be the zero tackle as he goes around Edwards. Can't get away from the fire, though.
Well, we're talking about the kick and chase, and that was very good there. Edwards down to it. Couldn't get to him, but the fire came to the rescue. And look at that defence from England. Straight line. That will be pleasing their coach, Phil Larder.
Jacques Peche has to take the tackle in the end. Pascal Jampi just pushing the England man off. Torre was the dummy half. That was Onta. This is Budebza. Good solid defence from England in the French half of the field. Onta to Luchesse. And Luchesse lost possession in the tackle.
Well, he tried to use the ball carrying arm to push off the big second row, McNamara, and in doing so dislodged the football. Well, another bad mistake by the French. But it really is tremendous defence by the English outfit so far. They're moving it very quickly.
And here's Newlove, probably one of the best centres in the world at the moment. Paul Newlove in a great vein of form for the Super League 100% league leaders St Helens. And here's another, Chris Joint, playing so well. In last year's European Championship, of course, England beat the French here 1916. It was a wet and cold February night, and England had no Wigan or St Helens players in the side that night. They're involved in a Challenge Cup replay. But there are Wigan and Saints players there now. One of them's Afire. Trying to crab his way to the line, but nothing doing on that occasion. Lawless to Edwards. Edwards looking for movement around him, has to take the tackle, and it was a stiff one also from Jacques Peche. They're inside the 10-metre line now with Blakely. Steve Blakely releases the pass to Afire, a drop goal. Martin Afire with a one-pointer. It has happened before, if memory serves.
Good thinking by the winger. Well, he's on form, isn't he? Been looking for work to score the first try, and was a hand there to add the 1 point. Quick thinking.
He scored a drop goal in the past for Wigan. That, I think, is probably his first in international football.
Executed it well. Knew that there was no way to go. Took the option of adding the one-pointer. And also with a new rule where the scorers have to kick off, a deep one here. And the way that this defence is moving up quickly, they will apply even more pressure to this French side.
Great charging run from Sculthorpe and Harrison, and also Lawless was in there. He just gets back now to form a solid defensive line. Nowhere really for Ontat to go, so he runs across the face of play and then takes the tackle from those two, Blakely and Harrison. Blakely's after the ball carrier again. That's Bamati.
Again, we see the good work from Blakely in the second marker position. It really does take a lot of pressure off your defenders out wide. And France are finding it very difficult to get over the advantage line. Well, that's a better run there from Jampi.
And they get into the England half of the field, but it's on the last tackle. Ontat will kick. Now the chase has got to be good, or will that find touch? It will, and for the first time the French are within striking distance of the English line, but it's England's head and feet at the scrum.
Nice kick. Way over the top of Martin Afire and in between the fullback Steve Prescott. Expect a big game from him. Patrick Ontat retires from the international scene after tonight's game. Really has been a wonderful servant for the French side.
36 caps, Steve-O, 6th on the all-time list of French internationals.
Tremendous, isn't it? Yeah. He really has been a major force over the last decade. They'll miss him as well. He's a quick thinker.
The runner was Broadbent. Broadbent, who has been knocking on the international door for quite some time. I know he made it to the World Cup last year. This is his 4th cap for England. Paul Newlove with all the strength of Harrison.
You talk of Newlove, he's causing a lot of trouble for the other centre, Frederic Bonquet, who's finding it difficult to get anywhere near putting the big man down.
Little sliding kick over the top was from Steve Prescott, straight down the throat of Arno Cervello. Good chase though from Paul Sculthorpe, playing in the international jersey tonight without the customary skull cap that he wears for his Warrington club.
Tremendous to see so many youngsters being blooded these days. Full marks to the coach, Phil Larder. He's looking towards the future. And you talk about Sculthorpe, tremendous defender. Quite a good attacker too. He's a good thinker, but his defence really has impressed in this Super League, hasn't it, Eddie?
Well, he's played very well, Paul Sculthorpe, for Warrington. One of the bright young things of the game, only 18. In fact, there are so many teenagers in this side. If you look down at Steve, well, the average age must be what? Even with the likes of Harrison in there and Edwards, 29 and 32. It's got to be low 20s.
Oh, yes, without a doubt. Well, a bit of a scrappy play there by Bonquet, who's not having the best of games, I'm afraid. You see, he had his eyes well and truly on the opposite number. And that's the big fella, Paul Newlove. He's having a lot of problems against him.
Paul Sculthorpe with some support in the crowd, who've travelled up here from Warrington to be here tonight. McNamara of Bradford Bulls gets the ball away to Broadbent of Sheffield Eagles. And here now is Harrison, but he goes without the ball. That'll be a knock-on. Referee will put the scrum down. Let's go pitch side. Join Bill and Emlyn Hughes.
Early problem for the French. Jean-Marc Garcia has picked up a bit of a neck injury. He's been rubbing the back of his neck. He's carrying on at the moment, but he looks a bit tender. I should think, Emlyn, most of the French are feeling tender.
I mean, they're only an amateur side, really, aren't they? They're not good enough to really be on the pitch with the English lads. Sean Edwards has been magnificent right from the start. The way he waits his passes and just waits for somebody to come alongside and then cuts him out with the pass is brilliant. But Martin Alfaya's done well, hasn't he? I mean, he's bursting. But the defence of the French, I mean, I mentioned it earlier, they are absolutely, they're like women tackling, isn't it? Like slapping you, you know, oh, go away, I don't want to.
Oh, well, that's Emlyn who's dismissed the French in 2 sentences. Cavastani. I hope he can't speak English, Cavastani. He might take it up with Emlyn Hughes later.
Well, I'm not so sure they'll take too kindly to being saying that they tackle like women, but a spirited run again, and Jean-P, the second rower, really is trying hard.
Ball out wide. It looked promising for a moment as Torre fired the ball out this way, but Arnaud Cervello had overrun the pass, walks dejectedly back.
Well, the idea was there, but I'm afraid, as Eddie mentioned, the winger had already gone through. Try-saving tackle on Jason Robinson early in the game.
Edwards then feeds this scrum. England itching to get at the Welsh again in Cardiff in a fortnight's time, which they hope will be the European Championship decider. 11-0 against the French here in Gateshead. Just trying to think back a week and remember what the scoreline was after 20 minutes in Carcassonne. I think the Welsh were well in control.
Well, there you see the marker moving off the spot before the ball was played, and they were also offside, so a choice there for Bill Harrigan, the Australian referee.
Good movement again from England. That was Connolly. Takes the second tackle. John Lawless, the Sheffield Eagles hooker, goes into dummy half. Lovely reverse ball from Edwards to Sculthorpe. Good defence, though, from the French on that occasion.
They're working well, England, as a team. They're not being too individual. They're going through the routines. They're running the angles well. But they really know that all they have to do is get the big forwards down the middle, suck the French in. And with Edwards controlling things, getting the ball out wide, get it out to the big centres, Connolly and Newlove.
Well, there is Connolly, and as he falls, he gets the ball away. Harrison gives it to Broadbent, drives it in. Broadbent, good hands this from England, switching the direction of the attack. Sculthorpe brilliantly into the arms of Newlove. He gives it to McNamara, and McNamara, I think the referee wants the video ref to take another look at this. The question is, did McNamara get the ball down, or was it dropped? McNamara thinks he scored a try, so does Martin Afire. What say you, video ref?
Well, the ball carrying arm, he's lost it. I'm afraid he will not give that. Well, not in my book anyway. But that was a shame. It was a good lead up there by the English lads. There you see, lost control of it. Well, this is one for the history books. The first Australian referee to call for the video.
I think McNamara knows the decision. There was a great gasp of disappointment around this stadium. It might be a development area, but people in Gateshead know the game of rugby league now. And no try, 20-metre place kick. Boos for the video ref, but he's absolutely right.
Great work, though, by the English forwards. Going down the middle, supporting each other. Nice run from Sculthorpe. Harrison in there working hard too. And that really is a good ploy. But I've been impressed with the way that England are going through the tactics right. They're not rushing things. They know they've got the skills. It's just a matter of making sure they keep possession, play out their full complement of 6.
Bouchesse meets Harrison head on. He's lost the ball, the Frenchman. It was Texido. Oh, that's pretty high. Lawless from Budebza. That's one apiece. Referee's blown for neither. This is Newlove. 21 minutes gone. England ahead 11-0. Lawless up the middle. Devechi stood his ground well. And it's 50-50 in terms of possession. 11-0 on the scoreboard, though. England have done a lot more with their 50% than the French have so far. Referee has got them for offside. The French waited to see if there was any advantage for England. None forthcoming, blew the whistle. England are running the penalty with Harrison. Edwards gives it to Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe tried to duck under the tackle.
The prop forward, Budebza, is down. You can see him just there in the corner. It looks as though he could have broken the arm. He looks in a lot of pain.
He's getting back bravely into the defensive line, though. England going the other way with Blakely. Blakely showed it to Connolly. Oh, that's a great try from Blakely. He threw the biggest dummy that Gateshead probably ever seen then. The French took it, and Blakely waltzed in. Steve Blakely marks his international debut with a try, and an absolute belter it was too.
Tremendous individual skill. See how he used the dummy runner again. It was Chris Joynt. He just run the arc through the dummy, roll the ball across his chest. Beautiful stuff. They really worked well. There you see how he used the dummy again and threw the little one from Connolly. There was nothing that Cabestany could do about that. That is a well-scored try. Well worked. Tremendous execution.
Well, Blakely has been on top form for his club side, Salford, this season. Speaking to his club colleague Steve Hampson yesterday, he said he thought he believed that Blakely deserved this call to the England side, and he was delighted that Blakely was in. And he has rewarded Phil Larder with the try. So Prescott now again. 1 from 2. The first was bang in front. Second way out on the touchline. This about 15, 16 metres further in from that far side. And he drifted in on the breeze. It is blowing sort of towards him and across him. He's given it too much. 15-0 though, England lead, but Prescott shaking his head, not happy with the conversion attempt. And Budebza in a lot of problems with the wrist. And he's coming off the field. Ice on the wrist. It's already quite heavily protected, as you can see. Budebza goes off. And Darren Adams, the number 14, the big Kiwi, he comes on. Adams winning his cap for France on the residential ruling. Been there for 7 years and is therefore allowed to play. So Adams, there he is, first touch for Darren Adams, and his height and strength, Steve-O, will help this French team.
Well, it should.
It might shake Emlyn Hughes up as well.
Yeah, I think you'd have second thoughts about calling anything about Darren Adams. It's a big, tough, row-bone forward. But they find it extremely difficult, I'm afraid, this French side, mainly because of this English defence is so tight. Look at it there, moving forward.
It's a neat little kick over the top, but there was no one there chasing it. And Edwards, well, he was collared in the end by Tuxedo. This is Connolly. Taking Torre on. 2 more came in to finish him off. Cabastany is there. And Connolly trying to get from underneath Cabastany's legs. McNamara now. Connolly again. England looking all the time, Steve-O, to try and keep this ball alive.
Twisted in the tackle we've seen on a few occasions, Harrison and especially Joynt. Once he hits the line, he's twisting in the tackle. And it's been a fine debut by this guy as well. Really has impressed me so far, Paul Sculthorpe. Handled the top line pressure very well indeed.
Prescott, one of those elusive little runs that we've seen this season in Super League. That could easily have been a penalty. Referee says play on. This is Robinson. Still Robinson. Back then to Blakely. Blakely keeps the movement going to Newlove. France are mesmerised by the handling skills until Newlove drops it.
Good work by the hooker, Torre, then. Newlove thought he was away, but the hooker just got to him. There you see Newlove trying to keep the ball alive. Well, that won't please the coach, Phil Larder. He should really have gone to ground and made sure he got on and held the possession.
Here's Darren Adams again. Midway inside his own half. Good tackling once more, though, from this English defence. Onta helps the board wide to De Vecchi. And De Vecchi takes the return pass. Looks for something. There's heavy traffic ahead of him in the shape of Newlove. They made 34 metres there in that particular set, but only now, courtesy of the kick of Onta, are they out of their own half, and it's straight down the throat of Robinson. Now, you shouldn't really do that. Not with Robinson in the sort of mood he's in this year.
No, it was a bad kick. As we mentioned before the start of the programme, that Robinson is in fine form, and so is this guy,
Prescott. Prescott has gone round his opposite number, Luchesse, and Prescott scores on his international debut as well. Steve Prescott, he made his under-21 debut for Great Britain here too in 1994, and he's marked it with a try for England.
Tremendous run, took the jinx there. You could see that the prop forward Tuxedo was caught flat. Really does accelerate away. Nothing was going to stop him scoring a debut try. Anything that Steve Blakely can do, so can the other Steve, and this is Prescott. Wonderful balance. Gets into top gear. No one gets anywhere near him. Luchesse is way behind. He gives up the ghost. But he caught the big prop forward Tuxedo flat. Little step into the gap. That's another one.
Good try for Prescott. He decided to head underneath the post to make this conversion attempt from his own boot. Little more than a formality, you would say. 1 from 3. The one he got was from this position. He's bang in front. And here he comes now. Not a problem from there for Prescott. England ahead by 21 points to 0.
3 men go for the fullback, but the man stood there, should have blocked the gap. He didn't. And bang, off he goes. They are leaving huge gaps now when 3 men go for 1, and none of them fail to put him down. This is what occurs.
Good try from Prescott, and Patrick Onta, I think, lost that ball in the sun.
I think he touched it too. I think you'll find it's a head and feet to England. A bad mistake. Yep, just caught his foot. Yep, glided it on. Emlyn Hughes would have been happy with that sort of skill, but not the French side. He's looking bemused.
England are spelling their prop forward Carl Harrison. He goes off, and he's replaced by Featherstone Rovers' Steve Malloy. Malloy winning his 2nd England cap. Last England call came in 1992. Connolly, meanwhile, gets another. Try given by Bill Harrigan. It's very easy for England at the moment, and the smile really says it all from Gary Connolly.
One guy who's enjoying this is Shaun Edwards. Look at this, does the run around, cuts through the gap. It's a beautifully worked move. Support play by Connolly. It isn't often that you see Shaun Edwards will do a move at the base of the scrum. The run around with his partner Blakely. Well executed as well by Blakely. As he released the football, he was moving the opposite way. Look how Blakely moves away and takes the defender with him. Oh, that is skillful. That is great stuff. Beautiful to watch. Timing was perfect. They're in top form. They're running hot.
Important try for Gary Connolly, converted there by Steve Prescott. Connolly, it's his first international try in 20 attempts. 17 caps for Great Britain, 3rd England cap here tonight, and his first international try for the centre from Wigan, Gary Connolly. 27 points to 0. Steve-O, as predicted in many people's books, this.
Yep, I expected a little bit better performance by the French, but they've not been allowed to get into any sort of a game. This defence from England is the best that I've seen for many a year. They're going up as a unit. They're hungry. Maybe it's the smell of this tour at the end of this season. There's a few young guys out there would desperately love to be on it.
They've given the ball away, and Connolly was hauled back as he chased that by the fullback Frederick Tuxedo. Referee, though, allows England to continue the attack with Joint. Could easily have blown for a penalty against the French. Edwards takes control again. Broadbench working on the inside. Well, France are tackling themselves to a standstill, but England breaking through. There's Malloy again. Cabestany was the man round his ankles. Here's Edwards, running the angles once more, brings Connolly into it brilliantly, and Connolly almost there,
He's lost it. Prop forward Tuxedo, I think, dropped on it. He tried to reach out and place the ball.
Good tackle by Garcia low down.
There you see, he tried to reach out, and the prop forward went on to the top, but it was beautiful running again by Shaun Edwards. Well, it's a long time since I've seen Shaun Edwards run at the opposition as much. Normally he takes control well away from the defensive line, but he wants the action.
Well, he was probably a little rattled by the fact that Phil Larder chose Bobby Goulding originally in his position. And then Goulding got the hairline fracture of the shoulder, allowed him back in, and now he's the captain because of Andy Farrell's injury. He's leading by example, isn't he?
Tremendous performance from Edwards. We all know the qualities of him. Nice kick there from the hooker Torre. But it's a hard road for this French side now, I'm afraid. The English are just ticking over very nicely. And the engine room started with Shaun Edwards, who really is stoking up the fuel. He wants to impress, doesn't he?
Well, they last won the European Championship in 1980 when they beat Wales 26-9, and they won 4-2 in France 16 years ago. It shows how times have changed. 27-0 here in 1996, and we're not even up to half-time yet. Such has been the demise of the game in France, but courtesy of Paris Saint-Germain, they are trying, like the Phoenix, to rise from the ashes across the channel, and doing well in Super League, despite the fact that recently they've hit a bit of a form slump.
Well, a big problem is that they've been having to play 2 games, nearly all these players involved in the French Rugby League competition out there. It's far too much for these players. They're doing their best out there, but they are hitting an English side who are absolutely running the show.
High kick, hanging kick from Edwards. It drops to an English player, Prescott, its last tackle, and the French come up with the ball.
He tried to release it there to the fullback, Steve Prescott. Got to it well. He tries to get the ball away here. It was held back.
It's Jacques Peche who is the dummy half. He gets it away to Tuxedo, and the prop forward is grounded on halfway. England, I think, determined to keep France down to the very minimum, and if the minimum means nil, so be it.
Not only a nil scoreline, but not get over the advantage line. I still can't remember a clean break from the French yet.
Robinson got an hand to that. Garcia's picked it up. Prescott misses him. Supports there from Cervello. Good tackle by Connolly. Helped out by Jason Robinson. And Cervello is hurt. Onta takes the ball off him, wants to keep this movement going and the momentum. Garcia. Well, first time that the England line has been under any serious threat. Onta, out wide it goes. It bounced very unkindly for the substitute, Eric van Brussel. He could do nothing with this, Steve-O.
No, he just bounced straight through him, didn't it? Now they did Martin Afaya kick it. Well, Martin Afaya kicked it in the field of play, so this should be, by all accounts, but a great break by the winger. Cervello got injured in this particular tackle, but he did really well there. Bang! Felt it too.
And he's still down and injured, and it looks like Cervello is coming off. And I noticed that sitting not too far away from us is Taz Batieri from the Paris Saint-Germain club. I also noticed in the crowd earlier on, Michel Mazarel is here, the Paris Saint-Germain coach, and he won't be too happy that Cervello goes off to be replaced by Baghdad Yaha, another of the men that Paris Saint-Germain have been calling on. Sympathetic round of applause for Cervello. But this match, Steve-O, could have major repercussions for Paris Saint-Germain as well.
Certainly could. That's 2 that's gone off with what appears to be bad arm injuries.
This is Luchesse. Better run from the fullback. Torre, the dummy half. Onta. He looks this way, finds Bonke. Scored 2 tries here last year. But what a crunching tackle from Connolly that was. Darren Adams now. He has the height, the weight and the strength to test any defence. That's why he's attracted 3 to him. Torre went without the ball. Second rower, Pascal Jampi.
It was on as well. It was a nice little run across the face of the defence there, but you could see that Jacques Pesch dropped the ball. Trying to get it. It was a good move. But there you could see Chris Joynt had him all lined up. Bang. Just a little bit too forward. Oh, well picked up by Shaun Edwards then. Really did well.
Connolly dumped to the ground. 4 tackles gone. Better defence from the French. England now only just 25 or 26 metres away from their own line. That's the last one. Just 28 metres made. Edwards with the kick downfield. Van Brussel is after it, but he is content to allow the ball to bounce into touch on that far side rather than run it back for the 0 tackle.
I got the impression that the substitute Van Brussel thought, let's get the clock ticking away towards half-time. It's been a rugged introduction this first 36 minutes, 27-0 England's way. Any time-saving tactics to keep the scoreline down, perhaps. Oh, bad mistake.
It could be a problem here. Blakely was after it. It was a brave dive on it by Luches. The ball went backwards. It's play on. Garcia goes one way then the other. Ontat called for it and got it.
Well, this is the incident. What is a knock on by Luches?
Looked it, didn't it?
Yeah, not according to Bill Harrigan, though. He played on. Could have actually caught the French player offside, but oh, once again we see there. Oh, Gary Connolly. He's enjoying this defensive stint too.
Steaming into Jampi. Torre, the dummy half, Ontat to De Vecchi. Cabestany took the pass, but also had to take the tackle from Joynt. Look at this. Bang.
Didn't finish it off. But he's such a big lad.
Ontat went for the penalty, tried to run round McNamara, and McNamara isn't the smallest man on the field. Took a tumble.
Well, he definitely moved it, McNamara. Looking to get away with that one. You could see him take a step into Ontat.
Blakely gets the ball away to Newlove. They're having increasing difficulty putting these England players down as we approach half-time. Malloy driving it in. Cabestany and Pesch, the tacklers. John Lawless at dummy half. Broadbent went without it. France have it back. Jacques Pesch plays the ball to no one in particular. Good job for him. The takes-it-o was there, but look at the tackle from Malloy. Broadbent drops it. Pesch picks it up. Mistake by the English front rower. Oh, great tackle again from Ontat and from Connolly on Ontat, and the tackle was so ferocious. The little man lost the ball. England have it back. Edwards. He gets the ball away.
Good team spirit there. That really was great spirit from Connolly. After doing the crunch tackle, he lifted himself, picked up Patrick Ontat, who really had the wind taken out of him on that occasion.
Newlove gives it to a fire. He was running down a blind alley, so he's come back this way, shrugs off the tacklers. O'Fire through the gap, and O'Fire will score. That's a brave try on his second ball, the English winger. He was over on the far side, nothing was on. He twisted and turned, saw it get wet for it, bravely got through 2 tackles and scores.
How many times did they say that Martin O'Fire, all he does is just finish? Well, on this occasion, he really showed his strength and determination. Gets the ball from Paul Newlove, in and out, shake it all about. Acceleration and upper body strength. That's a fine try. Nowhere to go. In and out again. They couldn't get to him. Look at the step. And the strength. Great work. He had to get forward. The second effort gets him over the line. I want this. Look at this determined run. But this is the impressive part. Bangs him out of the way.
Martin O'Fire's try in the last minute of the first half. England also scored in the first minute of the first half through Martin O'Fire. Steve Prescott, 3 from 5. England ahead 31 points to nil, 33-0 as we approach half-time if this sails over. And 33-0 it is. And that's the half-time siren. And a thoroughly professional first 40 minutes from England it has been. Tries from O'Fire twice. Newlove, Blakely on his debut, Prescott on his debut. Connolly, his first try in international football, and Prescott has kicked 3 goals. Martin Afai, though, again showing up as the star of the show. Patrick Onta, on his last international appearance, won't be happy when he looks up and sees the scoreline that reads England 33, France 0, and the England steamroller moving on. France have it all to do second half. Half-time here at Gateshead, England ahead by 33 points to 0. It's been pretty much one-way traffic in that first half, and England on top of their form against this French team, who last won the European Championship in 1981 when they beat England that year at Leeds. I don't think they're going to win here at Gateshead this evening, as Shaun Edwards leads the England side out once again for the second half. And this England team looking pretty impressive, and knowing that if all goes according to plan second half, they will be facing Wales in Cardiff in the European Championship decider 2 weeks tonight, a match you'll be able to see with us here on Sky Sports. The Cardiff Arms Park that night should be packed to the rafters for the meeting of the old enemy, and I wonder whether Bobby Goulding will be fit or whether it will stay with Shaun Edwards. Certainly in the first half, Phil Larder, who is making his way now back to his seat high up in the stand here, I wonder whether it will be Edwards or Goulding for the scrum half role for Phil Larder. Coach of the Keighley Cougars, of course, in the First Division, England and Great Britain coach. He takes them to that tour at the end of the season. Hadj Boudebza there coming out, holding his wrist, but he's not coming back onto the field. He's taking his place on the bench, the prop forward. Looks like he might make a reappearance second half, if need be. And at 33 points to 0, he might need to come on. So, second half about to get underway here at Gateshead. England ahead, 33 points to 0. 40 minutes remaining for the French to regain some pride and for England to really rub salt in. And by the looks of the intensity of that first tackle from Malloy and Sculthorpe, there's no slackening off in the pressure.
Well, we mentioned that Phil Larder and Shaun Edwards would have been telling the boys, come on, let's really keep it going. Let's keep this solid unit in defence. They will want to make sure that France do not score a try.
Steve, as we've got Emlyn Hughes as our guest tonight, it is worth just pointing out it's a little bit like an England team turning around 5 or 6-0 ahead at half-time in a soccer international, and the manager or the coach, be what it is, telling his players to maintain this intensity. It's very difficult, but by the looks of things, England are doing exactly that here tonight.
Well, that's the one thing that has to please their coach, Phil Larder, if they can continue and do that for the full 80 minutes. The one good thing about the Australians, when they've been so dominant over the last 10-15 years, is the fact that when they got to the front, they just kept going. They did not ease off. They showed all their skills, all the tactics, all the different moves. And that's what we should look forward to from the English side in this second half.
This is Broadbent. And of course, you really should play 100% anyway, because if you start taking it easy-ozy in the tackle, that's when the injuries come, and that's when Super League will be disrupted because of injuries.
Yeah, you've got to keep the intensity going. You know your own body more than anybody else, and it's also an important factor that they keep playing the team outfit. Keep it going. Far too many go individual, but if they stick to their teamwork, share the workload, then they should continue on in the same fashion as we've seen in the first 40.
Connolly, the dummy half, and he hoists a high kick. Edwards is after it. Luchesse is underneath. He takes it cleanly, the French fullback. Draws applause from this crowd.
Didn't get much defence and much help from his fellow men, did he? Nice kick. Took it well, did Luchesse.
And Jean-Marc Garcia, the man from Sheffield Eagles. We said in the first half most of this team are playing in Super League with Paris. Well, that's absolutely true, they are. But Jean-Marc Garcia also playing Super League with Sheffield Eagles, of course. Here's Cabestany. Disappears under the tackle from Blakely and from Chris Joynt. Onta to Devecchi, and this is Adams, one-handed, out the back door. Better stuff. This is Baghdad Yaha.
Well, that's the first real move that we've seen from the French three-quarters. And that's come about because they're standing a lot deeper than what they did in the first half. And there you see the difference. Prescott took the ball, but he had protection. And like he has done all this season in the Super League for St. Helens, made valuable ground forward.
More valuable ground perhaps here from Afire, an elusive character when he's in this sort of mood.
There you see the take, but you could see that there was 2 English players shielding him.
Malloy with a strong run. Don't forget, Wales-England looks like now being the decider, as we have a penalty for England. You can see Wales-England from Cardiff 2 weeks tonight with us.
See the big fella just push him again and catch his arm. There's no chance that they could play that football. Well, he's been pretty keen as the Australian referee, Bill Harrigan. He's done well, he's missed very little.
Malloy again driving into the 20-metre zone, taken over now by Joint.
Now this is the sort of position that England have to launch their basic tactics, the switches of play like that.
Afire went outside, came back inside, dumps the ball over the top. One bounce into the arms of Joint, carried on by Connolly. Connolly gets his second try. Gary Connolly just went through a defence that melted away. His second international try. He's waited a long time. He's celebrating tonight.
Full credit to keeping it alive. Switch of play by Edwards. There's a big fella, Newlove. Martin Afire, who really has looked sharp tonight. Not the best pass, but they did well. Joint got it away, and there was just no one there. You could see that Darren Adams made no attempt to fill the gap. Switching the play again. The strength. He's looking for work, isn't he? Martin Afire. Joint did well, and then bang. Adams was nowhere. Neither was Lachaise.
Gary Connolly's try makes it even worse for the French, even better for the English. And Steve Prescott now, 4 out of 6, should go 5 from 7. And 5 from 7 it is. And England gets 6 more to their total. They lead by 39 points to 0. And this, I think, will send a few shockwaves around the valleys of South Wales. Clive Griffiths' team will be waiting for England in a fortnight's time, 2 weeks tonight. And 39-0 against France after 45.5 minutes, Steve-O, is quite a victory that's on its way.
Very impressive, isn't it? Don't have to tell the Welsh coach, Clive Griffiths, about the firepower that the England side do have, especially the three-quarters. But he must be looking at this defensive line and wondering how on earth he's going to get through this.
6 new caps in the English squad of 17, of course. Augurs well for the future that so many of the newcomers are youngsters.
And they've all played their part, haven't they? The hooker, John Lawless, pretty good service from the dummy half position. Seen some nice touches from Sculthorpe, Blakely, McNamara, and they're all young guys.
Talking of young guys, the Academy scored a big win against the French in Carcassonne a week ago. They were coached then by John Keir, who is here watching tonight. He's with Bill.
John Keir is on the England bench tonight, and John, the crowd's enjoying the tries, but I think from the coaching point of view, the fact the defence has been so tight must be very pleasing.
Yes, that was always one of the major goals for the team. One of our main objectives was to mill them and to try to keep them tryless. And both left side and right side defence, there's sort of a little competition out there between them because they're making sure there's no busts down either side.
So neither side of the park's determined to let anything through now.
That's correct. We did some drills in training where the right side attack the left side of defence and vice versa, and they're very, very competitive down there, and they're assuring us there's going to be no busts on either side.
Also rewarding to see that the youngsters that have come in have just slotted in so easily.
Yes, the preparation's gone very, very well indeed, and the confident kids, and it just shows that the step up from Super League into this level, they've achieved it without any problem at all. They've been super.
Here's one of the older heads, though, Edwards with a diagonal kick. Prescott's after it, but Luchesse rose to claim the ball.
It was a nice option as well. Edwards was running towards the corner, and it was a kick back underneath the 6. Prescott was storming down, but once again, Luchesse equal to the task. He's been put under a lot of pressure as the French full-back, but he's done well.
Tuxedo, the prop forward, takes the tackle. Interesting that what John Key was saying, Steve-O, that left and right side of defence, they've got a mini competition going on between the two of them.
Well, that's one part of the drills that is in the modern day football. It's always on the increase, and it's always looking for that perfection. It's impossible perhaps to get it throughout a full 80 minutes, but
Jacques Peche has been deemed to have knocked on.
Well, he lost control whilst the ball was going forward, even though he did eventually hit his side and go backwards. The first impact was a knock-on. There's the centre, Freddie Banquet.
Yes, receiving treatment.
Well, it's been a rough old time for the French. They have been crunched, and it doesn't surprise me the way that this English outfit has moved up as one unit. There's always one man going low while two men coming and finish off the man. They just have not allowed France any chance to get this ball alive.
Finger in the eye maybe for Freddie Banquet. Just reading the caption then that he impressed on the tour to New Zealand. It's worth remembering that last summer the French drew 16-all with New Zealand on that tour, and that was a highly creditable performance by them. But look at that scoreline now of 39 points to nil, and England on top of their form.
This is where the injury came about. It was a really good solid hit by the winger Jason Robinson. Everything was fine, and just crunched into him with the shoulder.
Newlove trying to break through. Support arrives then from Prescott, and Steve Prescott will get another. That's his second tonight. Steve Prescott so good on defence and quite brilliant in attack when the mood takes him. Had a wonderful season so far for Saints.
The St. Helens combination, fully aware what it's all about. You can see him trailing. Oh, that is lovely stuff. He knew that the big fella had the strength, and Newlove just went on the angle, on the arc, and Steve Prescott just followed him through. He came from the centre on the arc run, and once the big centre Connolly made the half break, offloads, Prescott in fine form. See how Prescott shadows him, and two men go for it, bang. It's been a big problem to the French defence. 2 and 3 men have been sucked into one man carrying the football. As soon as the offload comes about, the try is always begging.
And if he kicks this goal, and he should do from this range, this will give him 20 points personally in the match. 20 points personally it is, and for England 45-0. Nothing the French can do about this rampant English team now. They really are in the mood to rub noses well and truly in it here and send a message not only to the Welsh but also to whichever other country they might be visiting during the autumn, Fiji, Papua New Guinea or New Zealand, that the British Lion is about to roar when it goes on tour this year. Pascal Jampi takes the first tackle, and so nearly Darren Adams went without the ball. He's dropped it. A fire, you don't give it to him. You don't give him gifts like that. And a fire gets the hat-trick. Takes a little tumble. Was it a pulled hamstring? Was it a clang on the ankle? Bill Harrigan just checking with the touch judge that all was legal with that try, and I think he's just going to let the video ref take another look at whether the ball got in the field of play or whether it touched and brushed the white line. We shall see.
I think this looks okay. Did he get it down before? Fingertip control. Now then, has he been deemed to have lost control?
Well, that's the next debate.
Quite a lot of controversy.
No, that was all right. Try given here. to Martin Afire, who gets the hat-trick, apparently none the worse for the experience as he held the leg as he touched it down. And England pass the 50-point mark just about with this conversion to come.
Well, he nearly dropped it on the first occasion, and then why on earth Adams tried to keep this ball alive is anybody's guess. It was a simple try, it was a gift. He did well, did very well, did Martin Afire, to switch the ball, because he knew he had to get it down close. So he switched the ball to the left hand, fingertip control, gets him the 4.
Now then, if Steve Prescott can slant this one over, England have 50 points. As it is, they have 49. 7 out of 9 will make it 51 for England. Prescott with 20 points. This for 2 little ducks. 1 little duck.
Only 1 quack there.
49-0.
Talking of quacks, there's plenty of those in the French defence, isn't there? It really is an uphill battle now for them. It's not easy, and I'm afraid that we must make sure that next season these Paris Saint-Germain players do not have to go through playing twice a week. It has to be sorted out. They've done very well considering.
Well, it will be sorted out. Taz Batieri told us on the programme last Friday that they have sorted it out in France. But the point is that these Frenchmen will be playing 12 months rugby league a year. That is something else, I think, that has to be sorted as they surrender possession once again. Robinson, sensational. OK, the opposition might not be so clever, but the try still took some scoring. And Jason Robinson in on the act. That's past the 50-point mark.
Well, it is like the fact that Martin Afire got in for the try. They do really have a good competition against each other. But when you try to go high on this guy, he's so strong. There you see the prop forward tuxedo. Bang, get out of the way. One of the most beautiful balanced players you'll ever wish to see. Determination, gets the ball down correctly. No chance of losing the football with this style. Get out of the way. The only man that had any chance of tackling him was the referee, Bill Harrigan. You can't go high on this guy. Boom. Top gear. Whoa. Great stuff.
Jason Robinson with the 10th English try tonight. And Steve Prescott now will try and add another 2 points to that total. Another 2 points goes on the scoreboard. England, they already at their highest score ever against France, beating the 48 points to 2 at Bordeaux in 1975 in the World Cup.
There you see, 2-2 at sea. One man comes through. The winger was just hanging back, and that was Baghdad Yaha.
So England now 55-0 ahead, and they are within a whisker of their highest score in international football. 60 points to 13 against Wales at St Helens in 1978, and that also was the widest margin. So they're in record-breaking form here, England. 55-0, and still 25 minutes of this match to go. Freddie Bonquet goes off. Jérôme Bisson comes on. And that's Baghdad Yaha. Yaha, who got 3 goals for Paris Saint-Germain against Castleford on Friday.
Well, you can see how tired this French outfit is. It was a damn good kick. And it took an eternity to get through there, but they finally got there in the end to make sure that Jason Robinson was grassed. Trouble is, they're looking very tired of the French outfit. And when you've done a big chase like that, quick play the ball by the English boys, and you'll get the break out wide, I'm sure.
England in possession still. Lawless picks himself up. Joint was the dummy half. Blakely gives it to Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe, one of the youngsters who really has impressed this season in Super League, and doing the same here tonight for England. Edwards Out wide to Connolly. Good quick hands to Prescott. Prescott taking them on up the middle, looking round for support. Got the pass away to Connolly. Connolly retains possession for the English.
Tremendous work there by Edwards. Delayed the pass. Then Connolly did likewise. The fullback creating, banging straight through.
Great ball from Sculthorpe to Newlove, and Newlove will get another. His second, 59 points for England. They're on the verge of their record score. 60 against Wales in 78. They're on 59 now. The kick from Steve Prescott might take them over that total.
Tremendous skills got them into this position, and they continued on with it. Joint through the dummy. Sculthorpe was trailing, but look at this pass. Under pressure. Tremendous stuff. 3 men were sucked in for the youngster Sculthorpe. It was an easy roll there, but look at that pass from Connolly. The combination from the St. Helens players. Prescott is enjoying this now. Not so sure he shouldn't have given the ball back on the inside, but either way, he kept it alive. And from this came skill. He really is a talent. Look at that. Second effort. Out wide. No one at home. The big fella. He loves nothing better. And this is the reason why that St. Helens forked out the big money. He's one of the best in the world.
Newlove's try. Prescott with another conversion. His 11th. He's got a 70% success rate so far. When he gets out on the flanks, he has a bit of a problem with it. But it's 59 points to 0. And the thing you can say about this is that the backs really have done their work. All 11 tries have come from positions 1 to 6.
There you see, 3 men, they go in for Sculthorpe. Once he bobs the pass out, Newlove did well to stay on side. It was tremendous work.
The backs scoring the try, Steve-O. The forwards, though, laying the platform for them. It's been a terrific effort from this England pack.
Sure has. As we mentioned at half-time, many a side with such a commanding lead will try to go a little bit individual, and that's when you start getting forwards who want to have a bit of a rest, go out wide, sort of mingle it in with the centres, but not on this occasion. They are playing to the game plan superbly.
Well, let's hear from Emlyn Hughes, who's on the touchline. He's our special guest tonight, and he's with Bill.
It's merciless, isn't it, Emlyn?
It's embarrassing, really. I mean, the French lads, their heads have gone down. I've been so pleased for young Prescott, the fullback, on his debut. He's had a magnificent debut. I mean, he's scored and he's ran well. But it's been a really super performance, as we said at half-time. And really all the French can hope now is to get a little bit of pride back in the game and not get beat by 100, because it could easily be 100.
So you're revising your estimate now?
Yeah, I've gone up 20.
Well, 100 points to 0, says Emlyn. He's just dismissing the French. Well, I think you've got to give England the credit they deserve.
Well, of course they are, but they're a very tired outfit. They're trying their best, but it's the skills and just slowing the game down. People like Edwards, who can attract 2 and 3 players to him. It's going to count when you get the ball out wide. The build-up has been absolutely superb. Long balls out wide like that. That's great timing.
And look at Connolly. He's loving this, and so is Prescott, who gives it to a Fire, and England are turning the skills on. That's 4 tries for a Fire. He loves nothing more than planting the ball over the whitewash. Doesn't matter whether it's top of the Super League or against the French at international level. But Fire likes nothing more than this, and that's his 4th.
There is just nothing that the French can do about all this. The skill factor is so high. The support play is superb. Out wide, Prescott. Look at this. Keeps it alive. And the man who's drifted in right from the left wing. They're working for each other. You can see the desperation on the French players now.
Martin Fire's try. He now joins 5 other players who have scored 4. Keith Fielding of Salford against France in a World Cup match at Bordeaux in 1975 amongst them. 5 players have scored 4. Martin Fire is one of them. And Steve Prescott, 7 goals from 11. He also on the verge of a goal-kicking record if he lands this. No. Every time he goes out wide, Steve Prescott doesn't find the mark. Bang in front, he's deadly.
I think he'll have plenty more opportunities. But the skill factor here, Edwards just delaying the pass. Beautiful pass from McNamara, likewise from Connolly. He's having the time of his life, is Steve Prescott, the fullback. So are all these three quarters. But the forwards, they are laying the foundation, and look at that defence again. There's no letting up for them.
12 tries for this England team. Paul Rowley comes on for his international debut. 12 tries. And all of them scored by the backs. From full-back to stand-off half. Only Shaun Edwards of the backs yet to get on the score sheet.
Well, he's one of the best supporters. Phil Larder must be very, very pleased. I know he's so defence-orientated. He studied a lot of the Australian tactics. Nice little kick there from the hooker Torre, who's tried hard. They've all tried hard, but they've met a side that is in superb form.
Patrick Torre's kick. It beat Jason Robinson to the touchline. Paul Newlove comes off, and Newlove is replaced by Matt Calland. He's got 17.5 minutes in which to display his undoubted skills, and there he is already.
Well, that's sensible play by the coach, Phil Larder. Bring on the new guys. Game completely out of the hands now of the French. Let's see what the substitutes that can do. Oh, great stuff from McNamara, but also good defence. They're still trying. On top, he's given it his best.
63.5 minutes gone. England have scored then at a point a minute to this stage of the match. Shaun Edwards is still unhappy with anything that goes slightly wrong.
Well, he's trying to claim that the French player made a play at that football, but he didn't. He'll try anything. He's still not happy with it. At 63-0, he still doesn't agree with the referee. What a competitor.
Well, the word that they use so often about the Aussie, Steve-O, is intensity. And England are playing with that sort of intensity here tonight.
Well, you can see him moving up again. I don't think I've ever seen an international at any level where a side has dominated defence so much that the opposition barely have been getting over the advantage line.
Devechi to Onta, to Adams. Out wide it goes. Yaha with a bit of space. Quickly cut down, though. You can see that that side of the defence don't want to concede the try. They're going that way again, though, with Texido and Connolly with a good tackle downstairs. Robinson up top. Nearly went without the ball then. Touré had to change direction for the pass. Devechi. Now then, a chance to attack this way. That was a good ball inside from Jacques Peche to Jampi, but again the door slams shut. Matt Calland was in there quickly, so too Steve Blakely.
Well, they didn't elect for the kick there. They run the power play to the French because they must be so frustrated. They had not many opportunities to get the ball out wide, and it was a little one, I think, from Ontar in the face of Martin Afire. Robinson will take it a metre away from the injured player.
Broadbent to run the ball back again for the English.
Here's a slide in defence. Watch them move across. Determination, but there's coming in the inside. There you see it. Edwards, McNamara coming back, not taking a rest.
Edwards looked for the chip over the top. It almost landed for Blakely. Instead, it landed for Joint. And here's Sculthorpe. And the first forward to get a try tonight is the Warrington loose forward, Paul Sculthorpe, who also crowns his international debut. And it's a lucky 13 for France. Paul Sculthorpe with the try.
Unlucky 13 indeed, but beautiful skills here. It was supposed to be for Blakely. He didn't get the bounce, but Joint did. second effort from Joint, some of the offloads from the big St. Helens second rower has been superb tonight, and so has the support play. He can feel pleased with this effort, Paul Sculthorpe. Never mind start of the future. He's arrived. He's a star now, all in his own right. Beautiful chip over the top. Blakely missed it. Joint didn't. Fed the ball, and Sculthorpe will remember that for a long time. Wonderful precision kick. Didn't get the bounce, Blakely. Well picked up, though, by Joint. You can see the defence completely split. There was no sweeper, no fullback, and that's the reason why it's 13. Bam.
13th try for the number 13, Paul Sculthorpe. And McNamara, change of kicking for the England team. He adds the extra 2 to Paul Sculthorpe's try. England winning by a mile, 69 points to 0. Interesting that Steve Prescott has handed the goal-kicking job to McNamara. He was 2 goals short of the goals record for England in an international, but he had passed the 21 points, which was the record score until tonight, from Jeff Pimlett, also of St Helens, against Wales in 1978. He's passed that by 1 point, so Prescott finds himself in the record books anyway. And it is certainly a record-breaking victory here by England. Widest margin, highest score, biggest victory. Darren Adams has gone off, and Budebsa comes on. Prescott, record point scorer, 22 points tonight for him, beating by a point the former St Helens great Jeff Pimlett. Stays within the Knowsley Road camp, the record, but switches to the new breed. Broadbent goes off, he's had a good game. Harrison returns. Little Paul Rowley now, he wants to make his mark on this match. Don't think Phil Larder can make too many changes after this, Steve-O, although of course Andy Farrell is off and injured, and Bobby Goulding, his original scrum half choice, is out of the match at the moment, injured.
Redlinski, of course.
Redlinski, you're right.
Yeah, we've got depth. There's one thing that is pleasing, but the big factor here tonight is the attitude. It's as though every one of those players has turned into Sean Edwards' clone. Bang, we will win, keep at it, keep at it. And Edwards is running around like a 17-year-old. Look at him.
Yes, he's done a great job leading the side. His enthusiasm is spilling over, and of course there's a tour captaincy at the end of this season up for grabs. Papua New Guinea, Fiji, and then the 3 big tests against the Kiwis in New Zealand. On tap, nearly through the gap, but he manages to keep it going. You have to give these poor Frenchmen some credit. They are keeping it going right till the end, and they have a little more than 10 minutes of this nightmare to endure. Budebsa.
Well, it'll probably bring up the biggest cheer here at the stadium if the French can get over, but it will disappoint the English boys.
Pesh is clattered there by Calland. They made 42 metres. On tap, gives it back to Pesh. Pesh looking for the man in support. It bounced off the foot. There's going to be a try here. And the substitute, Eric Van Brussel, has come up with the 4 points, which will disappoint the English. But as you can hear from the reaction in the background, has pleased the crowd here at Gateshead.
Neat play on the blind side, and it was Pesh that went through. Sucked in the tackle, it came off the foot. It was play on. Good refereeing by Bill Harrigan. And Van Brussel does the one thing that the English boys did not want. It was good work by Pesh. Came off the boots. It was all play on. He did well there. Tremendous ball on the inside. Okay, another inch perhaps he may have knocked on. It was play on. Good quick thinking. They worked the blind side well.
So Eric van Brussel gives the French something to cheer about at last. And in terms of the defensive competition that's going on between the English, the left side of the English defence 1, right side of English defence 0. Now Patrick Torre, first time he has had a chance. And he floats the ball over, left-footed. So 69 points to 6. England ahead.
Tremendous work on the blind side. He did well to the loose forward. Came off the foot, it was okay. And for the first time tonight, there was no cover and no full back. Good work. On the inside, he'd positioned himself well and was well rewarded.
Adrian Morley has come on. So Phil Larder has gone through the full list now. All 17 Englishmen have come onto the field. And as Torre shaped to take that kick at goal, Steve, well, that is his first attempt at goal, isn't it, tonight? It's been such a clean performance from England. Penalties down to the absolute bare minimum. The only chance Torre has had to kick at goal was that conversion, and we're 72 minutes into the game.
Discipline not only in defence, but discipline to make sure that they got off the would-be tacklers and not give away silly penalties. It's been a fine performance.
Look at that. There are many coaches who say that no team can go through 80 minutes without conceding at least one penalty. England have done it for 73.
Well, probably the only mistake that's come from Gary Connolly there. Wasn't the best pass. Daggers were thrown through the eyes there.
Gauntlets down though, Steve-O, to the Welsh now. 2 weeks tonight in Cardiff. It'll be some game, it'll be some occasion, and the Cardiff Arms Park is the venue, and you will be able to see it with us here on Sky Sports. Before that, of course, we have some important games in Super League to bring you. We're at Warrington on Friday night for Warrington against Leeds. We are in London on Sunday. That's Wilderspool Friday night at 7. And then we go to the Valley for London against Halifax. Sunday night at 6 o'clock. We'll be live and exclusive. And the week after, of course, it's Wigan against Steve Prescott, named as man of the match, and the Saints.
Well,
what a match that will be, Steve-O.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. 2 great ones over the weekend. And what a great time to be named man of the match, just as he was diffusing the kick over the top. Wales and England, Wednesday, 26th. Live and exclusive.
You'll have your leak with you that evening.
I hope not.
Let's hear from one of the English heroes, Steve McNamara, only into the starting lineup anyway, late on today when Andy Farrell pulled out, but he has played very well in the second row with this fellow Chris Joynt. He's with Bill.
Steve, I should imagine delight in the England camp, but also a little bit of disappointment that you've let the French in for a try.
Yeah, it was one of Phil's major aims was to not concede any points against unfortunately, a little bit of luck and vanished across, but other than that, I think it's been a great defensive effort from the boys.
Well, you've just let a try slip there, but nevertheless, considering the number of changes made, yourself included at the last minute, it's been a pretty remarkable performance, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's been a real good performance. Obviously, like you said, there's been a lot of last-minute changes and we haven't had much time to work with the actual team, but I think we've forced France into numerous errors tonight, and we've really capitalised and shown the Jews what we can do.
Thanks very much, Steve.
Yes, thanks.
They have shown a few people what they can do. 69 points to 6. 4.5 minutes to go. The French will be, I think, thrilled to hear what Boudebs doing at all. He's lying all over the England defender there and claiming the penalty. The referee, Bill Harrigan, far too experienced for that. But the final siren, when it comes, Steve, will be blessed relief for Patrick Onta and the French.
Sure will. They look a tired outfit, and that's far too strong from the little half-back. As well covered. Well, it's his final game on the international scene. He's been a great servant to the Tricolors. but he won't like the scoreline, 69-6. He's tried his hardest, but I'm afraid he has been totally outclassed, as the entire French team.
Just a word about Patrick Onta. He has claimed 36 caps for his country, 6th on the all-time list, and he's been playing generally, Steve-O, in a struggling French side. The 5 men ahead of him in the great French teams of the 50s and 60s.
He'll go down as one of the all-time greats, that is little doubt. It's just a sad end to an international career, but they can't take anything away in regards to his effort. He'll keep going.
Connolly wants another, and I think Connolly's going to get another. Gary Connolly with the hat-trick, and the fire with him. He got 4 of them. And Gary Connolly, his hat-trick tonight. It's a miserable night to be a Frenchman in Gateshead.
They're just running at will now. You can see that the wingers come in midfield. Robinson back on the inside, Sculthorpe. Look at the speed there. Gary Connolly. He really got into top gear very quickly. Robinson from the dummy half. This French defence is all at sea. They do not know what to do. Neat bad pass on back on the inside. Good angled run from the centre, Gary Connolly. That's been another highlight of this English display. The way that they've run the angles. Look at that. You can see that the French defence were just going back to get into the 10. Quick play of the ball. Oh, that is neat skill. But look at the speed. Vroom, vroom. Great stuff.
Could we have that just one more time, do you think?
If I've got time, and if we have another try, and it's a fast one, yes.
Prescott. Well, he struggled out wide, hasn't he? I think even he has a little wry smile to himself, and he's got plenty to laugh about tonight, because England at 73 points to 6.
Look at the pass back on the inside, should I say. That was tremendous stuff. And just for you fans out there, and for Eddie, vroom, vroom. Here's the break. Great try. He's enjoyed himself. Gary Connolly done some good solid work in defence, as they all have. Like that.
Thundering tackle. Adrian Morley. Oh, and Cabastani felt that. Adrian Morley, 31 games for Leeds, and he's an international. Watch this. Oh,
that is what we call a rib tickler. So I don't think there'll be any laughing from the French team.
And he's still down on his haunches, Cabastani, in back play. He felt that. Actually, it's worth a little quiz question to our special guest tonight, Emlyn Hughes. Adrian Morley and his brother, they've made international debuts in the past 7 days for different countries. I bet that's not been achieved too many times. Chris Morley, international debut for Wales against the French last week.
Well, it won't be a difficult one for him to answer. You've just given him it.
He's not listening. He's on the touchline. You're all right.
Well, another kick downfield, and this French side will be very happy when that final hooter goes. Less than a minute to go. Edwards wants to get on with it. They're waiting for Cabastani to join the scrum, and a good round of applause. He's tried hard, and you can see that he's suffering. He can't even get the right arm into the pack.
It was the loudest siren, and it was certainly a blessed relief to the French team. But well done, England and Shaun Edwards. Tremendous performance from them. Still discussing something with the Australian referee, Bill Harrigan. But he has led his team magnificently. A hat-trick for Gary Connolly. 4 tries, of course, from Martin Afire. Jason Robinson's weighed in. 4 from Afire, 3 from Connolly, 2 from Newlove. Prescott got a couple. And the other try scorers, just for the record, Robinson, Blakely and Sculthorpe. McNamara kicked a goal. Prescott, man of the match, kicked plenty. Afire got a drop goal. It's been a great night to be an Englishman, but the poor old French go home again with their tails between the legs. 73 points to 6. Robinson, Sculthorpe, Prescott 7 goals, a fire, a drop goal. McNamara weighed in with 2 points as well. Van Brussel and Torre for the Frenchman. Now then, who's the most delighted man in Gateshead tonight? Surely Phil Larder, the English coach.
That was a side that was patched up at the last minute. That really was some performance.
Yeah, they played very well. Performances, but when you've got the nation to choose from, it makes it far easier.
And yet you conceded a try which I think probably disappointed people.
Very much so. I mean, our main objective as far as points was concerned was to nil the opposition, and I thought, to be honest, our defence was very, very strong. I was delighted with our discipline and delighted with our defence, but a little bit upset that we let them in for that try.
But half a dozen youngsters coming into the side who seem to fit in remarkably well, which is a real credit to the English system, isn't it?
Yeah, we've only had 3 training sessions, and I thought they adapted exceptionally well. The team spirit's been good. We've trained superbly this week, and I think it's a great credit to Super League and a great credit to the coaching in Super League, because the guys that I've been handling have been very intelligent and have blended together superbly.
Looking forward to Cardiff now, the crunch game against Wales.
Very much so, yeah. I mean, I've got a couple of important club matches before then, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Wales.
So are we all. Thanks very much, Phil.
OK, cheers, thank you.
Yeah, it's a crunch match coming up in Cardiff 2 weeks' time. England 73, France 6. 12-4, England won the scrums. 3 penalties the French gave away. England, a faultless performance. And it was France's half in the first half and second half in terms of possession. Now then, let's hear from Steve Prescott in a moment, but first of all, the captain, Shaun Edwards.
Shaun, you're just saying delighted with a really efficient professional performance.
Yeah, we've only been together a couple of days, had about 2 training sessions together, but I think our discipline was the thing that shone through today. We were all pretty sick that they scored a try. Fortunate no it was, but due credit to France, they never gave up.
You were really buzzing out there. I mean, considering you weren't in the squad to start with, was this proving a point tonight?
Well, yeah, as I said, I had a lot of really unbelievably bad luck in the World Cup, and I was due a little bit of luck, which I've had. I know, and it was up to me. I had my chance, I got the jersey, and it's up to me to grasp it with both hands.
But what about all the young lads that came into the side tonight? Because, as you say, there are a lot of changes. The squad, even at the last minute with Andy Farrell having to drop out, and yet things clicked.
Yeah, as I said, it looked like we've been together 6 months because we've only had 2 training sessions together, but the team spirit was tremendous, and I mean, we know the Welsh lads have got a lot of pride in their jersey, you know, when we go down to Cardiff, you know, whoever's in the squad. But we've shown, I think, and hopefully we can show down in Cardiff, we have pride in our England jersey. And, you know, we want to win the European Championship.
Thanks very much indeed, Shaun. Well, on to the top point scorer for England tonight. What a debut.
Oh, yeah, it could have been more, really, with a few bad kicks, really. I need a bit more practice, but it went good for me.
So not altogether satisfied then, Steve?
Well, you've got to be satisfied. I was a bit nervous for the start because I only got drafted in on Sunday, I think it was. And I didn't even know any of the moves, really, most of the moves. I was just backing up and stuff like that, so I just went out to play my own game like I play at Saints, really, yeah.
I think the defence, I mean, a lot of people will say a lot of tries, a lot of great tries, but from a team point of view, was the fact that apart from 1 French try, it was defensively a near-perfect performance.
Well, yeah, that's what we aim for. He was saying, Phil Larder, that just try and keep them out. No tries, no tries.
Thanks very much, Steve.
Okay, yeah, thanks a lot.
Well, they didn't manage to keep them out. They did concede 1 try, and they conceded a goal as well. Only 6 points, though. They ran 73 points in England. They've done really, really well. Emlyn Hughes has been our special guest on the programme here tonight. An Englishman with a big smile on his face, and that's
Super
good to see.
Eddie, a terrific performance. You couldn't have asked any more. Although the opposition performance, let's hope that our lads down at Bisham over and done with that performance now. We're talking about the England team football performance now.
Emlyn, you've upset the Welsh tonight. the border.
The French, I've had a go at them.
You had a go at
the and the referee.
He's an Aussie. Anyone else you want to have a do at?
I'll think of somebody. Oh yes. I've got another one. Hold on. Lancashire beat Yorkshire today. On the last ball.
I knew we'd bring that up.
Yes.
Anyway, you said you were a good judge. You said they'd get 80. Well,
second half to 100.
Yes, I did that.
But I mean, I have to agree with them because the effort from the English lads was absolutely superb. On that defence.
The one thing that just slightly bothers me, Steve-O, is that